Spencer. I have a very special free training for you here from my good friend, Spencer Burnett. He is a mind mechanic, and he has totally helped me transform my life, my team's lives, and my clients' lives from his unique methodology of getting us to take action to overcome our demons, overcome our monsters, and really just take ruthless action moving forward. So we're going to be talking about all that. We have an epic presentation for you here. And Spencer, thanks so much for being here, brother.
Dude, thank you so much, man. The past year of the journey of seven-figure CEO has been a magical one. And so I can't wait to share like what I've created and what I've discovered through the whole process of being one of your accelerator clients, man.
Dude, it's been so much fun, and seeing you go from more of a one-on-one setting to a group setting and being able to impact more people and bring your genius to the world. It's been really, really freaking cool. And all along the way, you've had that amazing hair and that amazing beard. And you've never had a bad hair day as long as we've been working together. It's incredible.
It's actually impossible. So
yeah,
I can't take much credit for that.
It's all those positive affirmations that just like
all
the hair.
Things, yep.
Yeah.
Keep me moving. It's because
I love.
Go ahead.
I love how you put a unique twist on what you do too. So I'm stoked for everybody to be here and to really get to share or get to feel into your genius and what you're able to offer, and really get a lot of tangible stuff out of this training and walk away with a different way to think about just operating as a human being and how your brain works. So yeah, Spencer, I would love for you to lead this thing. And whatever you got to do, man, I know you're going to bring something epic to the table.
Awesome. It cut out there for me for a second, but did you tell me to start?
Yeah, it's all you, man.
All right. Stellar. All right, everybody. Before we get started, I have a kind of a admission that I am a recovering burnout addict. And burnout has cost me a lot in my life. It's cost me, let me get this pen in here so you guys can see this. It's cost me relationships. It's cost me businesses. It's cost me profit and income. And it's cost me my health. I used to burn out so bad, and just the intensity of which I worked, that it actually hospitalized me. I've been in the hospital dozens of times, and the burnout would trigger my an autoimmune disease that caused me to get really, really sick. And so I knew that I had one of two choices. I either had to, one, give up on my big dream so I wouldn't burn myself out, or two, learn how to manage the burnout so I can be who I was put on this earth to be, and serve the people and have the impact and have the business and have the relationships that I want. Now, this presentation that I'm going to share with you isn't necessarily for everybody. So I want to make sure that we've got the right people in the room. And because if this is like something that you struggle with, the story I'm about to share with you, then this literally can save your business, and essentially it saved my life. So to make sure we got the right people in here, this is for entrepreneurs. So if you're not an entrepreneur or a business owner, you may get something out of it, but this is specifically for entrepreneurs. Now, it's for a certain type of entrepreneur. One is the high-functioning procrastinator. A high-functioning procrastinator is someone who gets stuff done, but it's kind of all over the place. It's scattered everywhere, and it gets done, but it gets done last second, and it results in a ton of stress. Next is the burnout addict. This is the person that will do a launch, make a ton of money, and then only to like come crash, the energy to come crashing down, and then you're having fulfillment issues, or you're in adrenal failure. Andrew, I know that you tell your story about being in, going to the monastery because you had just like burnt yourself out. Like burnout addiction is a serious condition. And next is for the self-help junkie. Now, I know a lot of you, that are on this live and are watching this in Andrew's program. Like, you are into improving yourself, but there is something inherently wrong with self-help at some point. At some point, it just becomes mental masturbation, where you are collecting all the tactics you need to, but never one, and I can identify with all of those things, then you are in the right place. And I can't wait to show you what I've got in store for you. The type of entrepreneurs that this is not for, just to get super clear, this is not meant for dreamers. Dreamers are different than visionaries. Visionaries get shit done. Dreamers just like talking. And if you just like talking about, and kicking tires and just like seeing what things are about and just talking about your big plan, then this is not going to work for you. If you are open to changing that, it might be. Next is for the perfectionist. Perfectionism really is just a fear of failure cloaked in the idea of your own excellence, where it's just like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. No, you're scared. And that's going to stop you from driving the ball all the way into the end zone. Is that perfectionism, that last 5%. My one buddy told me that, I told him, I was like, I used to struggle with that last 5% of completion. And he said the last 5% is the last 50% because we get into that fear. And then finally, like the firefighters. And I was actually just talking to my team about this. I was so happy. Am I not on full screen? Oh, sorry, I'm reading this thing. Anyways, so the firefighters, the people this needs to get done yesterday. If you're running your company that way, if you're running yourself that way, and you're not willing to let that go, this is absolutely not going to work for you. So you might not struggle with any of these things. And if not, then this won't be very useful to you. But if you're like me and a lot of my peers, a lot of my friends, then you have lived this burnout cycle. Now, burnout isn't like a state of being. It happens in moments. And I had noticed that these moments were happening for myself and all the people like in my team and all of my clients. So I noticed that we would be working ourselves to the bone, feeling anxious, feeling exhausted at the end of the day. I remember I'd plan to wake up early and say like, oh, I'll do this tomorrow morning, only to find myself like hitting the snooze button. And then after that, waking up in a panic and knowing that everything needs to get done and convincing myself that there's not enough time to do it and just feeling that stress. I'd work with 50 tabs open, 2 screens, and dozens of things on my task list, not knowing where I needed to start. I felt like I had like a million things to do and not knowing what those things were, but I knew that they were out there that needed to be accomplished. And then jumping from distraction to distraction, getting coffee, checking Facebook, checking my phone, and never really getting anything done. Like working, but not actually accomplishing anything. I'd be super reactive to everything around me and get confused on what was a priority and what was just like busy work. And then I'd suddenly remember something important and I'd find like, a sticky note or my notebook or my whiteboard or my notes on my phone or Evernote or a Google Doc or a Google Sheet just to place the thoughts, the idea, the thing I needed to remember in some arbitrary place only for it to get lost in, the sea of tasks that I had to do. And I used to be the firefighter as well, where I'd wait till 5 minutes were left until something was due, until I pass it off. And what this does is these moments that we have of overwhelm, of not following through, you end up apologizing to your team, to your clients, to your mentors, because you didn't follow through again. And there's this continuous apology. And so what I'm going to show you in this presentation and in this training is 5 super counterintuitive strategies to turn your overwhelming task list into tangible results so you can finally work a 40-hour work week that actually grows your business instead of an 80-hour work week that just stresses you out and puts you in the hospital or sends you to the monastery, as Andrew was sent. So here are the 5 shifts that I'm going to show you in the next 45 minutes. I'm going to show you how to procrastinate your most important tasks, how to completely overcommit yourself, how to burn yourself out daily, how to be a people pleaser and constantly multitask. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Spencer, I'm already doing all of this. Why isn't everything working for me? Well, the thing is that these are habits of creators, of people that have big dreams and big goals and were meant for big things. And so they're not necessarily negative things. You just need to make a 2-millimeter shift with each one of these, a reframe, if you will, for each one of these attributes that we tend to demonize as entrepreneurs. When I ask people, what's the biggest challenge in your business? It's one of these things. Imposter syndrome, procrastinating. I take on too much. There's too many things to do. These are actually all positive attributes. And if you stay till the end, I promise you, I'm going to show you how to sort this out. So the real problem, or not the real problem, but like you need to ask yourself, if you keep living that cycle of making promises to yourself at night that you're going to wake up in the morning and all that stuff, and you keep breaking promises to your team, to your clients, how far can you really take your business? Because the real problem that at its core is that you don't trust yourself enough to follow through with what you've committed to. And, Andrew, we talk about scaling a lot. At the heart, like if you don't trust yourself, you cannot trust your team cannot trust you. The thing that you want to really focus internally on scaling is trust. Will you follow through with what you commit to? Because one thing I learned in 7-Figure CEO was Andrew made everything so step by step. So many templates, bro. Thank you so much for all your templates. And like you literally have the best mastermind I've ever seen. And I've been in the industry for 2 decades. It's incredible. But the gap between those that crush it and those that drop off, end up ghosting, and end up, Andrew wanting the refund or saying that this didn't work, is simply just follow through. And so I'm going to show you how to build that trust in yourself so you can follow through. Once you make these shifts.
Spencer?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can I bring one thing up? Is that cool?
Oh, for sure, dude.
Yeah. This is so critically important to really tap into trust in yourself, because you can't trust other people if you can't trust in yourself fully and unequivocally. And you can't lead a team if you don't fully trust in yourself. I see this being one of the biggest things that holds people back from getting results. And that's why I've brought Spencer into 7-Figure CEO to conduct trainings for our clients so they can fully trust themselves to be able to move forward, and so other people can trust them and they can trust others. So this is so critically important. I'm so stoked that you're starting on this one, dude.
Thanks, brother. Thanks.
Yeah.
So once you're able to trust yourself, to be in alignment, then you're going to be able to wake up every day knowing exactly what it is that you need to get done for that day and not have to make any decisions. Just wake up, press play, and enjoy the things that you got to do during the day. You'll optimize your day so you can actually work a 40-hour week, a standard work week, and complete all of your milestones and not have anything slip through the cracks. You'll be able to commit to realistic deadlines, knowing that you're going to follow through on time. And you'll be able to project that into the future, a week, a month, a quarter, a year in the future once you trust yourself. You won't remember the last time you were truly overwhelmed. This one, when we were writing this one was like a little unbelievable as we were kind of like going over this, but it's actually true. I was speaking with my team before this, and it was eerie on how just like easy and fun work has been. You won't be stressed out about sales because you know that you can turn a good idea into cash in a week. Actually, Cameron did this. He came up with the idea of story economy and 6 days later implemented and made his first sale on his brand new idea. And then finally, when you can trust yourself, you'll be able to make wise investment decisions based on value, and not the cost, because you have a system that produces results. And so when I joined Seven Figure CEO, I bet on myself. And I first thought I was going to join the Authority Accelerator. And then Andrew was like, no, you should join Seven Figure CEO. And then I joined Seven Figure CEO, and he's like, Spence, you should double down, join the Accelerator. And I asked myself the question, do I believe that this is going to happen? Or do I doubt that this is going to happen, that we're going to turn this, one-on-one coaching into this big business? And there's only two ways it could go wrong. One, if Andrew doesn't give me good guidance. And two, if I don't follow through. And one thing that I knew to be true, because I know Andrew, is that he was going to give me the right guidance. So it was all up to me. But since I had that trust in myself that I could follow through, making the investment decision was easy. And we have certainly more than doubled our investment. So give you a little introduction for those of you who don't know me. I've been a coach and a business consultant over the past 21 years. Damn, I'm old. Since I was 17, I started my first business. I built 3 multi-six-figure businesses in 3 different markets. I was in the fitness industry, I was in the dating, sex, and relationship industry, and now I am in the business alchemy industry, as I call it. And I've worked with entrepreneurs to help them turn their businesses into systems so they can have an organization that runs like a well-oiled machine. As opposed to just a bunch of talented people doing tasks. Because if you have A players with D-level execution, you've got a C- business. So here is how I discovered these shifts. And this is actually kind of the story of how me and Andrew started working together. So when I started my business, I retired from the dating, sex, and relationship industry exactly a year ago this month. And so I had this idea of like helping entrepreneurs be effective, conscious creators. And I was just doing one-on-one coaching. And so I was like, I want to turn this into a full-fledged business. So I decided to, purchase my, $60,000 sweatshirt and join Tribe of Buyers. And 4 months later, I had spent $75,000 on a mastermind, on a project manager, and a project manager, and I had like nothing to show for it. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I had great strategies. I had an excellent coach, shout out to Andrew, a solid mindset, but I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. So I was looking to my project managers, like, why are things not moving forward? And so I couldn't figure it out. I reached out to my peers. I reached out to other coaches, and no one gave me a solution. And one day I took a look at the system that my project manager put together, and I felt like I needed a PhD to understand it. It was very complex. And there was a month that went by that I paid this guy thousands of dollars, and I was like, what did you do this month? And he couldn't tell me what he did. And out of pure frustration and knowing that if I don't figure out a simple way to turn a complex strategy into a linear task list for me to execute on, that I was going to lose everything. I was going to lose the business. I would drop out of Seven Figure CEO. So out of desperation, I put together what I'm about to show you here, and I put together a project management system in a way that was super streamlined, super simple to get things done. Because that's ultimately what it was about. It's like, I want to be able to get things done and track it and make sure that it works. So what I'm going to show you today is these 5 important shifts that I learned through this process that took me from being in a prison of my own design, which was my business. It became like a job. And it's like, I became an entrepreneur because I didn't want a job. So it didn't make any sense, to building a streamlined, scaled business that runs like a well-oiled machine. And through these shifts and this streamlined workflow system that I created, and with the strategies of Seven Figure CEO, we accomplished exactly what Andrew promised me, which was months that were $50,000 a month or more, a well-oiled team, a team that is trained, a team that I can trust, and build a following and a community and intimacy with my audience. And so, Andrew, thank you so much for everything, dude. And I can't wait to show you guys these things, because there's only so far a coach can take you. What I'm about to show you is how to take full responsibility of yourself so you don't burn out anymore, and you could actually implement the great strategies that you learn from Andrew. Before we get started on like the training and I show you these shifts, there's 3 things that I want you to do. 1, quit out of all the applications on your computer. Okay. This isn't just for like this presentation. This is for anything that is worthwhile. Like, close out all the tabs on your browser. I know you've got a ton of them. Andrew, I'm looking at you, bro. I've seen your tabs.
They're gone. They're gone.
Nice. And next, turn off your phone and put it away. Anything worthwhile is worth your attention. The only thing you truly own is your attention, and that of what is given attention grows, and that of which it is ignored dies. And so I don't want you don't want your attention spread all over the place with tabs and dings and notifications. Shut them off, be present, because when you implement what I'm going to show you, it's absolutely going to change your life. All right. Now that we've got that out of there, it's good. Okay. 15 tabs open I'm seeing here. Let me first show you how burnout works. Okay. So let me go here. Move me over. All right, cool. So here's how the burnout cycle works. So can you guys see my, oh yeah, you can see my mouse though. All right, so it starts with integrity. You're following through, you're doing your thing, and then all of a sudden something slips through the cracks. And then another thing slips through the cracks. And then another thing slips through the cracks. And then you start feeling overwhelmed. Now, from that place of overwhelm, that is a trigger for us to medicate. And medication can come in many forms. It can literally be in drugs, alcohol, whatever, but it also can be in TV. It can also be in mindless social media scrolling, some way to kind of numb the pain of that feeling of overwhelm. And once we medicate ourselves, it turns us into really being lazy. And laziness is like when your body is like, your mind is like, I can't take anymore. I'm going to force you to do nothing. And over time, in our laziness, we then start feeling shame. Then from that shame, we start feeling depressed. And depression is simply just like sadness that is that you're constantly experiencing for no like apparent reason. It's just like this heavy negative cloud over you. And after that, you start feeling like a failure. Now, this is the thing that we think that we fear, which is failure, like the worst thing ever. And failure sucks, don't get me wrong. It's heavy on the heart, right? And it's humiliating. But what happens after failure is the most dangerous human emotion that I've ever come across, worse than shame, worse than depression, worse than failure, which is indifference. Where at some point you feel so defeated where you're just like, I just don't care anymore. And when you don't care, you suffer. And so there's a point in getting out of this that is really hard to face, which is disgust, rock bottom, no more. Like rock bottom is that place where it's like, I can't go any deeper. I remember the place where I was when I was in rock bottom, where I hit rock bottom, one of my rock bottoms. And I remember I was broke. I was coming back from court because I had a business that failed. I couldn't even afford to take the bus home because I only had $1.50 in my pocket. I remember I bought myself an energy drink and a small bag of chips. And I thought to myself, if I don't change what I'm doing, there's nothing left to take from me other than like a family member or my own life. There has to be this like level of disgust that gets you out of this. Now, what's interesting is this burnout cycle is actually our most powerful creation tool. And I'm going to show you how that works. Slides, Benz. Okay. first step is to reframe procrastination. Okay. So you want to actually step into procrastination. So procrastination is a very interesting experience because we think that the problem is that I'm stressed because this needs to get done. And so all the things that need to get done start piling on you. And the only way to relieve that stress is to actually do the thing. But what's interesting is if on Friday, you're supposed to get something done by the end of the day, and it's 3 o'clock and you're just like, oh man, I'm not going to get this done. I'm not going to get this done. And you think to yourself, let me switch this here. You think I can't get this done. So you know what? I'm going to do it Monday. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do it Monday. Totally cool. I'm going to let everybody know I'm doing it Monday. And you put it off. And somehow in that moment where you decide that you're going to do it Monday and you procrastinate, you feel better. Now, if the problem was that you needed to get it done, then how did you feel better, but you didn't get it done? Does this make sense? Because all that procrastination truly is reactive planning. And procrastination done well is simply just preemptive procrastination, essentially planning, making sure that you have a time and place to do things. So when you allocate time in the future to do a task before the deadline, it alleviates that stress of this needs to get done because it's planned into the future. So that mechanism actually gives you the endorphin high of actually getting things done through planning. And so planning is critical. And that's why your calendar is the most important creation tool that you have. Show me someone's calendar and I will tell you everything about your life. One simple tool. So this used to be my calendar. And as you can see, there are like double boxes here. Oh, this morning routine that I never did at 7 in the morning. I have Level Up weekly planning in there twice somehow. I've got some virtual horse racing with my dad. Canceled appointment here. It's all over the place. And this was very hectic. Most people look at this and it looks stressful because because like, you know, if you look on Monday, there's a point at 2:30 where I've got 4 blocks. Like, what am I actually supposed to be doing there? And so this was the way that I used to live. And so finally I was like, you know what? Screw the time boxes. I'm just going to get into flow, and I'm going to do my work when it feels good. So then my calendar looked like this. And this calendar is more dangerous and more stressful than the other one. Because working in flow it's wonderful. It's great. It works until it doesn't. Because what that means is your work is dependent on the emotions that you're feeling of the day. And what we know about emotions is they're fluid, they're liquid, they're constantly changing, they're unpredictable, things happen. And so if this is the way that you go about executing things, I'll do it when I feel good. Good luck scaling. Good luck scaling. Like I may say it's impossible to scale if you don't have plans. So what I wanted to create was a simple process, a simple workflow process where I could execute swiftly on the most critical tasks of my day and of my week. So every single week I'm moving the needle forward on my business, on my intentions, in my relationships, in every part of my life. And so I created this workflow process that is 3 simple steps. It's getting yourself set up, it's getting you in your calendar, and then I've created this unique but very simple project management board to help you manage the complex strategies and turn it into this linear timeline. And now this is what my calendar looks like. Very streamlined, very linear. Monday, I do management. Tuesday, I do clients. Wednesday, I do marketing. Thursday, I do copywriting, and Friday, I do kind of whatever the heck I want to do. This is actually my actual calendar the day before the week that I created this presentation. And so I literally wake up in the morning, I step into my time box, everything else in the world disappears and I'm truly present to that one thing. I don't need to have my brain doesn't see a use for the thoughts coming in telling me that, oh, you forgot to do this, you forgot to do this, because my calendar looks like this a month out in the future. So I never have this like overwhelming feeling, because I know when I've got the time to do it. And plus, I could take a look at the past week and say, did I actually follow through with this? I can measure my integrity. I can measure my alignment with your calendar. Your calendar really just is a ledger that manages your intention of your attention throughout time. And so once you can get that down, then all you need to do is show up, just shine, do your thing, and the business moves forward, and success is inevitable. So next is overcommitment. Now, people there's two parts to commitment. One is how many things are you committed to? And two is on what level are you committed to that? And what we typically do is we commit to way too many things, but we half commit to them. So it feels like a full plate when in fact, it's just like, no, you only have space for 10 things. You committed to 20, but you're a 5 out of 10 out of like the emotion of commitment, not just the task, but like, are you going to follow through? And so, Andrew, we were talking about this today in the 7-Figure CEO call about of complexity just being the enemy of efficiency. It's the enemy of productivity. And so asking yourself, what is the most critical thing things that I need to do this week in order to move my business forward? We call these critical tasks. And in these critical tasks, you choose one per day, one. Now, there are many important things that you need to do, but when it comes to a critical task, it actually activates your willpower and your focus and the engines for you to get something done. You can't operate like that all day, but you can operate like that an hour or two a day. And so if you choose the proper things and overcommit to that one thing per day and get that done no matter what, then success is inevitable. The only thing that can go wrong, the only thing that can cause it to go wrong is a poor strategy. And you guys are here with Andrew, so that ain't a problem. And so choosing that most important thing is really critical. For those of you that are in masterminds, I've got a whole nother training on this, on value extraction of a mastermind, because most of the time that it's the reason that you weren't successful in it is because of the way you behaved within it. And so a lot of times you don't show up to the call because you're like, oh, I don't even know what question to ask. Ask this question: what is the most important thing that I can do tomorrow to make sure I move my business forward? If you ask that one question every single day and you overcommit to that one thing, success, impact, money is all byproduct. This is making sense, everybody? Next is burnout. Now, burnout is your spirit, your body, your beingness telling you, I've had too much, so I'm going to shut down now. Now, there's a lot of areas that it could shut down. It could shut down your focus. It could shut down your attitude and your heart. It could shut down your body. For me, it shut down all of it. I would go to the hospital for a week and black out for 3 weeks because it was the burnout was so intense. And the thing is in that burnout cycle that I showed you guys earlier, in that there's that point of disgust, that rock bottom. And so burning yourself out, getting out of that, all depends on what rock bottom is. And so in order to effectively burn yourself out, you need to sensitize yourself to rock bottom. I'll give you an example. As I was, I did a JV partnership about 6 months ago, and there was a calendar malfunction, and I had 100 sales calls in 30 days. And so there was 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. And I was like, oh shit, I am toast. Right. And so I was like, all right, I need to manage this, but I need to get myself back to a 40-hour work week so I can enjoy my life, right? And I did. And then once I got into that flow, there was a week or two where I worked like 55 hours a week. And so the old version of me that would go to the hospital would be like, I'm a warrior, I'm a soldier, like bring it on, burn the midnight oil. I'll work weekends. Like I am committed. I am powerful. I can do anything. Like, yeah, again, until you can't, until you're in the monastery or you're in the hospital or you're just in a meeting with your team or with one of your clients and you're just like, I don't want to be here. And so instead of having that threshold, that burnout, that rock bottom be, 80, 90 hours a week, I now sensitize myself to when I hit about 45, 50 hours, I'm like, whoa, Spence, dial it down. So sensitizing yourself to rock bottom is what's going to get you out of that cycle. But the thing is we all know this, creation ebbs and flows. And the intention that we have is not to stop the ebb and flow. That to stop the ebb and flow is to play God. Like those are the rules of life. That's how it works. But you do have command over how long you stay on that high, how far that low dips, and how long you stay there. And that is executed by sensitizing yourself to burnout. Next is people pleasing. Now this is an interesting one. People pleasing really just is people pleasing is like it's your desire to be affirmed that you are good and finding that through external sources of other people. And so everyone says, well, don't care what people think and just do you and don't care about other people's opinions. But here's the thing, like if you become like the 5 people you hang out with most, would it not then be in your best interest to give a shit about what they think? Like as a student of 7-figure CEO, like I want to make Andrew proud. Like for my team, I want to make them proud. For my parents, I want them to be proud of me. Now, that's not where I find the source of my value, but it certainly helps. And so when you people please to the right people, the people that share your values, the people that share your vision, that believe in you, the people that operate on the level that you want to operate, when you allow that peer pressure to shape you, it actually makes you a better person. People pleasing in the right way is simply just accountability. And so when you surround yourself with like-minded people that are doing something similar, that share your values, that are operating on the same strategy, the people pleasing just becomes accountability to those that hold themselves and you to a high standard. Nothing ever was created by one person. I mean, this marker was sent by Amazon, made by Sharpie. I don't even know where they got the plastic from. There's tons of people that played a role in making this. So if you think that you're going to succeed by just doing it on your own, well, good luck. That's not the way that it works. And so pleasing the right people is simply just accountability. Finally, multitasking. Multitasking, I think, became like a positive attribute. I think it was like in the 80s or like early 90s where it's like, oh, I can do it all. I'm superhuman, right? I've got all these tabs open and I can do this task while answering this email while doing that. Well, the reality is that the human mind can multitask. You can think of multiple things simultaneously, but when it comes to the human attention, it is singular. You can only truly pay attention to a single thing at any given time. So how how do we manage this multitasking? How do we manage the notion of like so many thoughts going on in your head? Well, there's three things that you want to focus on. Because like I said, the mind can focus on a lot of things. Your intention can be on many things at one time. It's just got to be on the right things. Okay. There's three things that you need to focus on doing. And this here is like the secret sauce. Because once you do this, all that matters is time, talent, and strategy. Making sure that you focus on three things: your intentions, your commitments, and your actions all being the same thing. And when your commitments, your intentions, your commitments, and your actions are all the same thing, that's what's called integrity. And this is the only thing that you should be constantly thinking about or having multiple thoughts on. Am I following through with what I intended to do? If the answer is yes, keep going, because success is only a matter of time. So as I showed you before, the burnout cycle, when we break our integrity, we go into breakdown and into overwhelm. When you sensitize yourself to breakdown, okay, and you sensitize yourself to breakdown and you start managing it right, this becomes this, where if you manage your breakdown and don't let it overwhelm you, then overwhelm becomes simply just a challenge. And challenges are required in order for us to grow. There needs to be breakdown. And in fact, like when I'm evaluating my company, my group program, or anything, all that I'm looking for is, where is this thing broken? And so then we find what's broken. We make the adjustments. It's a little stressful, but everything continually gets better. But when you see life as a challenge, then when you take a step back, it's not medication. You're not medicating yourself. It's simply just self-care. And then from there, laziness is no longer laziness. It's true rest, rejuvenation. It's not your body being like, I can't take no more, so I'm going to inflict pain on you to cause you to stop moving. Then shame becomes contentment. No longer are you sitting in your shit. You're sitting in basking in the surroundings of your own creation. And you look at it and say, you know what? This is good. I'm proud of this. Then from there, contentment then hits discontentment. So in the flow state creation cycle, like there needs to be some level of discontent. Anything ever created in the history of anything started with discontent. This chair was made because someone at one point in time was sitting on the floor and said, you know what, this sucks. And then they became dissatisfied and said, you know what would be better is if I had a chair, if I could sit up nice and upright, and I could lean back and have a little spring in it. Once you get that inspiration of how you'd like to fix whatever's broken, the next step is surrender. And if you see here, surrender and indifference are two sides of the same coin. Surrender is letting go of the idea of the outcome. If this doesn't happen, will I still be okay? Will I still be happy? And once you surrender, then you reflect, okay, what is it that I want? You feel the desire. Okay, here's what I want to create. I want to create this 5-day challenge. I want to create this launch. I want to create this program. I want to create this relationship. I want to create this new body, whatever it is. Then the next step after that is skepticism. And skepticism is super important to the creation process because we have to question limits. The human mind, the human spirit is limitless. The human body has limits, only 24 hours in a day. And so you really have to question, like, am I capable of this? Next step, make a plan. Put it in your calendar. Put it in your project management system. Then get it into your calendar, allocate time for it. There's a whole system, a super simple system that I have for you guys on how to make a plan and put it into action. I'll share that with you in a minute. Once you make that plan, you then commit the decision. Like, I decide. After that, you take action. After action is results. And once you are getting the results that you want out of the plan that you made, the commitments that you made, and you're taking action, and your intentions, commitments, and actions are all the same thing, then just keep going. Just keep going and keep checking in. Keep looking for breakdowns. I don't avoid breakdowns. I hunt them. I hunt breakdowns every single day. In our team meetings for the month, we start off with time for conflict. Like, literally, we start our meetings off like, hey, where are you not happy? Because that's what eventually creates growth. So here's what you need to do to win. Strategic procrastination, also called planning. Overcommit, but to less things. Commit harder to less things. Break down and recover quickly, and sensitize yourself to that breakdown. And people please by following through with high standards that you give other people permission to hold you to. And then finally, just focusing on three things: your intentions, your commitments, your actions, all being the same thing. So at this point, you've got a choice. You can continue to go at the pace that you're going and be continually addicted to the whole burnout cycle, but how long can you stay in that cycle of burnout and overwhelm? Because it's just not sustainable. And if you find a way to sustain the heavy burnout, please let me know, because that would be fantastic. You can stay overwhelmed, burnt out, and sacrifice your life force for profit. Your business will grow in proportion to your ability to fail gracefully. Most entrepreneurs don't spend enough time learning how to fail gracefully. A lot of entrepreneurs spend their time thinking, how do I become excellent? Half of excellence is failing gracefully. So my question is, how gracefully do you fail? Is it graceful? Or is it a chaotic shit show? So, or you could take these strategies that I show with you today and consistently live in flow state where work feels like a fun activity with a proper set of challenges, a clear set of goals and outcomes, and it feels effortless yet intense, while you lose track of time and you simply are just present. So I'm going to show you how I can help you with this. There's a number of ways that I can help you, but as we talked about in the 7-Figure CEO call today about like simplicity, what is the highest leverage thing that you can do to get yourself out of overwhelm and into flow so you can move your business forward? So on Wednesday, October 21st at 6 p.m., I'm holding a workflow workshop. So this is a $97 masterclass. And if you want to attend, you can go to spencerburnett.com/TOB. And in this workshop, I'm going to give you the 3 steps that I use with my team, I use with myself. This is the original thing that I had created to get myself out of a mess and to scale my business. One of my clients said that this was the gateway drug to optimization and performance. It's one of the simplest kind of strategies that I've ever seen that will help you become organized, focused, so you can get shit done. And so in this workshop, I'm going to give you all of my templates. I'm going to show you exactly how to set up your calendar and how to operate your calendar every single day and every single week. I'm going to show you different cadences on how you can set yourself up for success so you're no longer feeling the result of this burnout. In my Level Up program, and all of my clients, if the stuff that I show in this workflow workshop, which is my action planning system, if the calendar isn't set and your project management board isn't on point or filled out or up to date, 90% of the time you don't actually really have a problem. I'm not joking. I've been doing this for 21 years. I've helped thousands of people. 90% of your problems are simply just poor planning. And in this workflow workshop, I'm going to show you how to plan in the most simplistic way that you've ever seen, and using all free technologies that and whatever technologies you want to use. If you use Asana, if you use Trello, it doesn't matter. It's universal into anything. So if you guys want to attend that training, come on Wednesday, October 21st, go to spencerburnett.com/TOB. And so here's the thing. If you're not ready to take full responsibility and then like reconsider like your business, like what you do for a living, like reconsider your commitments. If you're not ready to be responsible for them, if you're all over the place with your business, like trying to like bootstrap things and just operate on the fly, it's not going to work. Also, if you're not serious about your mission, also not going to work. And I'll tell you this, in business, I have found that no matter how much money you make, it's never enough. Like it's never worth it because this stuff's hard. Stuff's real hard. One of my mentors, Alex Moscow, says, we don't have business problems. We have personal problems that show up in our business. And so if you don't have a strong enough conviction of your vision, of your mission, then don't waste your time. Like find some way to make some money and another way to be fulfilled and happy. So if you're done breaking your word to yourself, if you're done with not trusting yourself anymore, and you're done being addicted to burnout, and you're ready to scale your business to 2x, 4x, 10x, whatever it is, Andrew, I know you've gone even beyond that in the past couple of years. I've been watching your posts, of course. Then come to the Workflow Workshop. Let me show you some magic and how you can just simplify that complex strategy that you have into a linear prioritized timeline that is fun and easy to execute. And that's it.
Let's give Spencer some snaps. Thank you so much, brother. And one thing I want to add on top of that, I will also be giving away our cash influx masterclass. It's $297. I'll be giving it away for free for anybody that joins Spencer's workshop on October 21st. I will be there. And also my birthday is coming up. So you'll be celebrating my birthday because it's October 24th. So at Spencer's workshop, come celebrate my birthday with me. And also I'll be giving you our cash influx masterclass, which we use paid masterclasses to grow our business. And it's brought us in multiple six figures in business over the past year. So we show you the whole strategy, A to Z, how to launch a masterclass, a paid masterclass, and really make a huge impact for your audience as well. So I'll be giving that to you guys for free on October 21st and celebrate my birthday with me. That'd be pretty fun.
Awesome, dude. Those are two great additional pieces of information. That's fun, man. Be happy to celebrate your birthday with you. So
yeah, it'll be fun. I think we're doing Q&A right now for a little bit.
Yeah, like I'm down. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions? Just
there was one question from Josh Babo. If you want to unmute yourself, man, feel free to unmute yourself and share your question on Zoom here. And if you guys are watching on the Facebook Live, you can hop in here and jam out with us for the little bit of time we have left. So Josh, are you still here, man? If he's not, I'll scroll up and find that question. His question,
hey,
but yeah, there we go.
Okay. Yep. Hey, yeah, I was just I was wondering about the color codes. It looked like there's a lot of colors going on in the calendar. I just wondered if that had like any meaning behind it, or.
Yeah, so I go over this in the workflow workshop, and I give you the template for it. Those colors essentially are, from an energetic standpoint, are like energies that I need to show up in. From a technical standpoint, the red is when I have my clients, blue is when I'm working on my business, pink is when I'm in my personal life, green is when I have a sales call, and so I can look at my day and see what energy I need to show up in. So for instance, when I have a call with Andrew, a one-on-one, it's a gold color, and the energy I show up when I'm receiving coaching is very different than the energy that shows up when I'm giving coaching. And so when you're able to take a look at your day and your week, and not only from a task perspective, but also see it from an energetics perspective, it better prepares your beingness to be able to step in and be present. And so that's, and I go into more detail of how to properly utilize that in the workflow workshop.
That's awesome, man. That makes a lot of sense.
Awesome.
Thanks for that.
No problem. I'll see you at the workshop.
Who else? Who else has a question here? We got 24 amazing people on this call on Zoom. Quality of your life is determined by the questions that you ask. What kind of stood out for you? What questions do you have that will move the needle forward for yourself? Or a clarifying question? Feel free to unmute yourself. Not all at once, please. Please. So with one question in, did somebody ask a question?
No.
I was going to ask what question haven't we asked you that we should have asked you?
Huh. Like, that's actually a great question in and of itself. Like, there's another element, there's a deeper element of this that is the relationship that you have with your own mind, that your practices, your breath work, your meditations, the way that you clear energy, the way that you address your emotions, the way that you use language to sort things out, that plays a role in figuring out what those next steps are. So, you know, the one thing that's like missing from everything that I shared here today is like, how do I figure out what the next step is, right? And so there's a training that I do. If you guys go to my Facebook group, Josh, you can put the link of the Facebook group in there. That I do a training called Precise Language. So I developed a language modality that is the most efficient clarity tool for conscious creation that I've ever come across. And essentially we use language in a way that actually keeps us stuck and keeps us energetically running in circles and creating loops that emit a ton of energy but don't actually move us forward. And so when you use language in a new way, and you can figure out just what your direct next step is, you're constantly and always making progress. And so I do a class called Precise Language Live the first Wednesday of every month. It's completely free. I show you how this language technology works. And then I spend like 2 hours showing people how to gain access to their own inner wisdom and answer any question, any struggle, any problem in 15 minutes. And it works 100% of the time. So if you guys are interested in some of that deeper work that helps you kind of navigate your life better, Precise Language Live is super dope. And you can find that in our Facebook group.
Yeah. Super duper valuable. Join the group. It's awesome. And while you were speaking there, I was also thinking of breath work. And one of my missions in life is to get breath work or allow as many people as possible to experience breath work as possible. And Spencer has regularly practiced breath work and also with his clients and all of that. I was wondering if you would be open for on the workflow workshop, if we can do a little, maybe 5-minute session of breath work before we get started.
Absolutely. So in the workflow workshop, I'm also going to show you what I call my induction process. So how to use breath work in a super quick meditation in order to get you fully present, to get all thoughts and emotions, both positive and negative, out of your space so you can fully be in it. Because it's not just about, you know, how you operate on a daily basis, it's how you operate in the moment. And so there are different tools for different variations of time throughout the week and the day. A calendar is a good thing. Throughout the 3D time, your project management is the thing that you need to pay attention to. But when it comes time to getting shit done in the moment, it's all about presence. And I will be taking you through the exercise that we do in Level Up to get you fully present and while using breath work and guided imagery.
If you guys have experienced breath work before, done a session of breath work, just put a 1 in the chat. I would love to see who here has done it. Josh, Sam, on Spencer's team, Rocio, love it. It's been the most impactful thing for my life. It's helped me get ultra present. It's helped me come up with my best ideas. There are different variations, different ways to do it, but there's a lady in Encinitas, California, where I live currently, who has us over every Friday, 8 people. We do breath work together. It's like a 45-minute session. If anybody knows breath work, like if you go up to 45 minutes to an hour, you're blasting off. It's like a drug experience all done through your breath. And that's actually where I came up with, I was like trying to figure out a name for the mastermind, literally for months and months. And literally during breath work, it came to me. I was like, 7 figures, yeah, like that is it. And then also I remember years and years and years, just like biologically feeling like I can't move forward. I'm not present. It's kind of all over the place. I'm scatterbrained and all of that. And with breath work, that has helped me snap out of that completely, because it allows you to center yourself and become ultra present. So highly recommend getting into breath work, experiencing it with us on the workshop, because it is one tool that you will have for the rest of your life that will help you become ultra present, ultra focused. And it's something like no other. If you guys have questions around breath work or anything like that, feel free to ask them. Is there anything that you'd like to add to that, Spencer?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you in the level of its importance. And once you start to understand breath work, you realize that it's not just a singular thing. It's an artistic practice that can do many things. So Andrew, you're doing 45 minutes of straight breath work. It feels like you're doing drugs. Like it literally, like you blast off into the sky, into the fourth dimension, right? Yeah. And then the other day, last Friday, I had to put my dog down. He was 15 and a half years old, and my best friend. And so in preparation for, this training and the workflow workshop, there were moments where I was sitting at my desk and all of a sudden, like, the emotional overwhelm was just like heavy. And so a quick 30-second breath work practice just was able to allow me to diffuse the energy so I could get back to be present. So you can use it in these moments, like as a utility tool, that has many elements to it. And so the deeper you dive into breath work, the more you realize that it really holds the key to like accessing your essence and having command over your emotional body and your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Yeah. And if you do sales calls, if you do coaching calls, if you do Facebook Lives, this short practice of breath work that Spencer teaches is the ultimate way in under a minute to just get aligned and present with where you're at. Like, we teach our sales team how to do breath work so they are ultra present on sales calls. We've seen a dramatic shift from when we taught them how to do it to where they're at now. And it's just the ultimate way to get centered and aligned and present and connected with the people or person that you're talking to.
Yeah, dude, I've even used breath work in conflict resolution situations where, like, when 2 people come together to have a confronting conversation, just sinking in together with doing some breath work together. And again, it clears the air enough for you to again have that clarity to see what really matters and to, again, move the ball forward. It's hard to drive in the fog. You know what I mean? And breath work clears that fog.
Mm-hmm. Big time. So yeah, we'll take a couple more questions. What has popped up for you as Spencer and I have just been jamming out about breath work? What questions do you have that will give more clarity to your life right now moving forward? Feel free to hop off mute.
I'll ask a question real quick. Spencer, I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit more about Sunday action planning and what that process is like for you and just how you go about that.
Yeah, so like the action planning process is, again, I'm go through that in the workflow workshop, but Sunday is such a sacred day where I simply just allow my thoughts, my worries, and my desires to interact with each other, and then start collecting that through this workflow process. So my week flows super, super smooth. And so when you set aside time to give yourself the most precious thing that you own, which is your attention, and you simply just focus on what needs to get done for that week through this series of, in our Sunday class, we do breath work, we do gratitude exercises, we do the action planning, we go through our Trello boards, we reconcile our calendars, we look forward in the week and say, where might my monsters show up and bite me in the ass? And we, create reframes to, for you to be able to better perform in those areas. One of my favorite quotes is by Abraham Lincoln. And I'm pretty sure I got the numbers right. But he said, give me 6 hours to cut down a tree. I'll spend the first 4 sharpening my blade. And if you show up to your week with a sharpened blade, it sets you up for success. And so like Sunday action planning, you could do it really whenever you want, but the Sunday action planning is the most powerful 60 minutes of my week.
I love that quote. And by showing up to the workshop, you guys are getting, like, one thing where entrepreneurs get stuck at is the project planning and project implementation phase. Like, I've got all of these things. How do I just create a system to put it all in one place and in my calendar and make sure that I show up energetically in the right way to get these things done? And you guys get the whole thing in the workflow workshop. And for the 15 or so of you who are off camera, probably doing some work behind the computer right now, probably multitasking, probably not showing up fully present in this moment, trying to do multiple things, you are the people that need to be there. Like, you are the people that need to go to the page, put in your credit card for $97 and be there and change the fuck out of your life and how you show up. I'm saying this out of love. This is the one thing that will dramatically change your life for $97. Yeah. So the link's in the chat, links in the Facebook Live. So hit it, show up, celebrate my birthday, and also get the cash influx masterclass to drive revenue, which you will profit from being there like crazy. So well, Dina said she registered. Dina, shout out. Diane, she just signed up. I love it. I will see you there. I will bring cake.
Ooh,
okay. I wish I could share it with everybody, but I'll bring cake. I'll eat it. And I'll tell you how much I'm loving it. Love it.
Andrew, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this workshop something that we have available as a resource inside of the trainings of seven-figure CEO, or is completely different?
So Spencer, you did a training inside of Seven Figure CEO. How is this workshop different from the training that's inside of Seven Figure CEO?
So the things that are the same is the templates, but the depth of which I go on showing you how to utilize those templates is going to be much deeper. That training was probably about like 45 minutes long. This one's going to be 90 minutes long. I'm also going to be including like how to do your Sunday action planning, how to do the breath work, and it's this workflow workshop is going to be like an experience of how you get into pure focus. So there's going to be a lot more depth to this. So the one that you have in the 7-Figure CEO, for those of you that are members, it's kind of workflow workshop light. And this one, we're diving much, much deeper.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question, Rocio.
Then I'll see you in the workshop.
Yay. Awesome. Any last questions? All right, Spencer, I'll let you play us out, or whatever they call it. Actually, Derek is asking a question. When is the workflow workshop? I will put the link in the chat. It's October 21st. At what time, Spencer?
6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh, now we're getting questions. So 6 p.m. Central Time, October 21st, 3 days before my birthday.
Yeah.
I'll blow out a candle on the cake too. I promise you.
So we've got a question here from Ricky. Does your workflow go into Trello or other options? So our company operates off of Trello, but a number of our clients work off of Asana or Monday or whatever. So it's universal to any project management system that's out there. But you will get a Trello template. And I'm also going to create an Asana template as well for those of you that use Asana.
Good questions. Awesome. Spencer, what was your number one takeaway from this training with all these beautiful people?
To let you behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
The biggest takeaway has really been the relationship that our two companies have had together, man. And it goes to show that, like, good strategy, good follow through, good communication, and people that truly, truly give a shit is the formula to creating something that serves you in all directions. And just hearing your stories today, Andrew, about how you serve your team and, how you give to people with not only the wealth that you create, but also like with your time and with like your considerations. Like, I should show you guys all the things I have from Andrew. He sends me gifts all the time. I've got a succulent over here. I got a sweatshirt. My charger is over there. Like, it's like, business isn't just about KPIs, although it is. It's about like you're like creating something to share. And what we've done over the past year, dude, I made such the right decision in partnering with your company. It's just like, I'm just so grateful for you, for my team, and everyone. So that's my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much. I love seeing your business grow. I love seeing your team grow, because you are really morphing people's minds, like making them take just relentless action forward and getting out of their own way. And what you provide is like nothing out there in the space. It's been really, really cool to see all of this come to fruition and see how many people's, like, there have been plenty of people who have joined 7-Figure CEO who have also joined Spencer's program. And then the results are just like so fucking good.
Yeah, it's an amplifier, and that's the way I really designed it, is like to be an amplifier for coaches that have incredible programs with people that their inner program is a little wonky, And
yeah.
So it's been a great partnership, buddy.
Yeah, and if you guys have audiences, this is one of the best people to bring in to do an interview or do a training or anything in front of your audiences or in front of your current clients. Bring them in. It's the best thing you'll ever do, because your clients will get so much better results your audience will take way more action, and it's just a great partnership.
Yeah. Yeah. Teams too is a big one. Is I've gone into companies, and once we get the owner like in workflow, and we start implementing it in across the entire team. My goodness, the efficiency, the communication, the clarity. It's like it's a complete 180.
Yeah, epic. I think we need to shut this down before the bromance becomes too much.
Yeah, it's getting thick.
But Spencer, thank you so much. Guys, join us on the Workflow Workshop October 21st, 6 p.m. CST. I will bring cake. I will bring the Cash Influx Masterclass, and we'll have a great time. The link is right there in the chat. The link will also be in the Facebook Live, and we'll see you guys there. Spencer, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. See everybody.
See you guys.